One of the first CSS techniques that most web designers learn is how to style links using the link, visited, hover, and active pseudoclasses. They're called pseudoclasses because the class isn't applied through the class attribute. The browser applies the class dynamically, depending on whether the mouse pointer is hovering over it or not. It's important to use the pseudoclasses in the right order for the styles to be applied correctly. Many people remember the correct order using the mnemonic love-hate, LVHA. Although they get that right, time and again I see inefficient styles being used for links. Let's open the style sheet and I'll show you what I mean. Here the font family, font weight, color and text decoration have been added to each of the pseudo classes. Now that's totally unnecessary because the Cascade will take care of that type of thing. It's much more efficient to rationalize them. I'm going to create a basic rule for all links using the A selector and set the font weight to bold and text decoration to none. That'll now apply to every link in the page. I can get rid of the font family because that's already been declared in the style rule for the body up here. So let's get rid of it from the link and from visited, from hover and from active. This generic rule for links has already set font weight to bold, so I can get rid of that too. And text decoration to none, so I can get rid of that here. So all we're left with in the link pseudo class is the color. In visited, I'll get rid of bold. I need the different color, but I don't need text decoration. With hover, get rid of bold. I need the color. I also need text decoration, which will need to change to underline. Now with active, I'll remove the font weight bold. And you can see that what's left is the same color and the same text decoration as hover. So rather than have two separate rules, let's combine them in a group rule. And we can get rid of that there. So now we have a rationalized and much more efficient set of style rules for the links. Let's just save the style sheet and see what the page looks like in a browser. When I hover over the links, they look exactly the same as they did in live view, so it's working fine. The other thing is that many people who suffer from motor disabilities can't use a mouse, so instead of mousing over links, what they do is they use the Tab key to move from link to link. If I press the Tab key, you'll see what happens here is that I've got a dotted rectangle around the link. Now a lot of designers say, oh, I don't like that, that really destroys my design. But there is a way around this problem because there's another pseudo class which is called focus. Let's just go back to Dreamweaver. What I'm going to do is to add the focus pseudo class to my hover and active rule. This ensures that when the link has focus, it will look exactly the same as though you are hovering over it with a mouse. So what you can now do is set the outline property to none. Let's just save the style sheet again and test it in a browser. I'll need to reload the page. So when I tab to the link, it looks exactly the same as if you were hovering over it. I'll hover over this one and then press the Tab key again, and it's moved the focus to this second link. So as long as you make sure that your links look different when they have focus, it's quite safe to remove the outline property and get rid of that focus rectangle which a lot of designers find unpleasant. Now let's make the link in this second paragraph look different from the first paragraph. Back into Dreamweaver. If we look at the original HTML code, you can see that this is in a div with an ID called different. So I need to create descendant selectors for the links in the different div. Rather than waste your time while I type everything out, I've got them in my clipboard, so I'm just going to paste them in here and save the style sheet. Go back into live view, and you can see that the link is styled differently. It's a very simple technique. Let's just go out of live view here. Something that you might find useful, which is a little bit of a hidden secret within Dreamweaver, is the style rendering toolbar. Go to the View menu, and then it's right down at the bottom in Toolbars and Style Rendering. And this style rendering toolbar has the pseudo classes here. So if I click the V here, it shows me in design view what my links will look like in the visited state. And again with H for hover state, A for the active state, and F for focus. A useful little tip there. So that's the link pseudo classes. Unless you're creating a game where hunting for the links is meant to be part of the fun, make sure that your links stand out and are easily identifiable. And don't forget the focus pseudo class to make your site accessible to visitors who use the keyboard to navigate around the web.